Hello dear friends, welcome to the second video on simplex method. In this method we will learn how we can solve the minimization type of LPP using simplex method. So let us start with our today's video, that is simplex method to solve minimization type of LPP. Okay, so this is the numerical. In this numerical you will see that the objective function is of minimization type and there are three constant equations. Okay, also there are three variables x1, x2 and x3, and these all three variables are non-negative. Okay, so let us solve this numerical using simplex method. So for solving a linear programming problem using simplex method, first of all we have to convert the given journal LPP to the standard LPP. Okay, in that process we have to follow the 4 steps. Okay, so let us start with the first step. The first step is we have to check the objective function. Okay, if the objective function is of maximization type, we don't have to change that objective function, but if the objective function is of minimization type, we have to convert that to the maximization type objective function. Okay, here in this case you will see that the objective function is of minimization type, so as per the demand of standard LPP we have to convert this objective function to of maximization type. Okay, so for converting a minimization type of objective function to maximization type, we have to multiply this equation by -1. Okay, so if we will multiply this equation by -1, we will be having the new objective function as maximize z bar is equal to minimize of minus z equal to -x1 plus 3x2 minus 2x3. that is, we have multiplied all these three values by -1, and if we will multiply these values by -1, this objective function of minimization type will be converted to the maximization type. Okay, so first step is complete. Okay, now we have to check these values of the elements on the right hand side of the constant equation. Okay, all these values must have to be of a positive type, that is they are of non-negative type. Here in this case you will see that this first and the third constant equation both have the positive element on its right hand side, but if you will consider the second constant equation, you will see that the element is of a negative type, so we have to convert this element to non-negative value. Okay, so for converting this value to non-negative value, we have to multiply this second constant equation by -1. Okay, so if we will multiply this equation by -1, then the new equation will be equals to -2x1 plus 4x2 less than equal to 12, as there will be two changes if we will multiply this equation. Okay, the first change will be this value and all these value will become of opposite sign, and this constant inequality will be converted to less than or equal to type. Okay, so this will be converted to positive value and this will be converted to less than equal to type as shown here in this equation. Okay, so the second constant equation will now become as -2x1 plus 4x2 less than equal to 12. Now in the third step we have to convert the inequalities equation given in the initial question to the equality equation. Okay, so this is the first inequality constant equation. Okay, so you will see here that this symbol is of less than equal to type. Okay, so we have to convert this symbol to equality, and for that purpose we have to add a slack variable on this side of the equation. So if we will add a slack variable, that is s1, then the equation will become as 3x1 minus x2 plus 2x3 plus s1, and this sign will now be of equal to value, and this is 7. Okay, so the first constant equation has been converted into a equality equation. Similarly for second equation also the symbol is of less than equal to type, so again to make these two values or these two sides equal, we have to add a slack variable, and so if we will add the slack variable s2, the new equation will become as minus 2x1 plus 4x2 plus s2 equals to 12. Similarly, the third equation is also of less than equal to type, so we have to add a slack variable on this side, that is s3, and the new equation will become as minus 4x1 plus 3x2 plus 8x3 plus s3 equals to 10. Okay, please remember that all these slack variables s1, s2 and s3 are non-negative type, that is they can be either equal to 0 or greater than equal to 0. Okay, now the fourth step is we have to check that whether all the three variables are greater than or equal to 0. Here in this the initial equation you will see that it is given that x1, x2, x3 all are greater than equal to 0, so there will be no change. Okay, so the final standard linear programming equation will now be as maximize z bar is equal to minus x1 plus 3x2 minus 2x3. As you know that we have to add these three values or three slack variables with coefficient 0 of each into the initial objective function equation. So the final objective function will be as this equation. Okay, also these are the three constant equations which we have created here. Okay, and now there are 6 variables, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 variables, that is x1, x2, x3, s1, s2 and s3, and they all are greater than equals to 0. Okay, now we will solve this LPP using simplex method. Now there is a point that you have to remember, that we can solve this given problem without converting to the maximization type. Okay, but for that we have to check that Cj minus greater than or Cj minus Zj should be greater than equal to 0 for optimality check. Okay, but as we have used in our previous video also for the simplex method, that we have to convert all the function to the maximization type, so we have converted here also the minimization type objective function to maximization type objective function. Okay, now we will use all these values in the simplex table 1 so that we can solve this given LPP. Now this is the format of the simplex table. This is profit per unit, these are the basic variables, this is Cj, this is the solution variable, and these are the different variables of the objective function. Okay, then this is Zj, this is Cj minus Zj. Now we will plot the values in this table from the standard LPP. Now let us start with the values of Cj. Okay, Cj are the values of the coefficient of the different variables of the objective function. Here you will see that x1, x2, x3, s1, s2, s3, these are the different coefficient or different variables of the objective function. Now we will plot the values here. Here x1 has a coefficient of minus 1, x2 has a coefficient of 3, then x3 has a coefficient of minus 2, then s1, s2, s3 both have the coefficient as 0. So 0, 0 and 0 are the values. Okay, now we will plot the values of the constant equation below these different variables. Okay, so this is the first constant equation. Okay, here the coefficient of x1 is 3, coefficient of x2 is minus 1, coefficient of x3 is 2, coefficient of s1 is 1, and there are no s2 and s3. Okay, now if you will put the values of these x1, x2 and s3 0, then the solution variable will come out to be as initial feasible solution for this equation will come out to be as 7. So writing this as here 7. Okay, now moving to the second equation, the coefficient of x1 is minus 2, the coefficient of x2 is 4, there is no x3, so 0, no s1, so 0. Here s2 is available, so the coefficient of x2 given as 1, and there is no s3 also, so value of s3 is 0. But if you will put the values of x1 and x2 as 0, then the value of s2 is equal to 12. So initial feasible basic solution is 12 here. So let us mark the solution variable as 12. Okay, similarly let us move to the third constant equation. Here the coefficient of x1 is -4, so let us write here 4. Then for x2 let us write here 3. Then for x3 8. There is no s1, no s2, but there is s3, so coefficient of s3 is 1. Okay, now you will see that if I will put the value of x1, x2, x3 as 0, then the s3 comes out to be 10, so the solution variable here is 10. Okay, so this is the initial basic feasible solution for the linear programming problem. Okay, now we have to enter the basic variables here. S1, S2 and S3 are the basic variables, so let us write here as S1, S2 and S3. Now we have to mark the value of PPU, so always these are the values of PPU for different variables here. Okay, now if I have told in my earlier video also, as if here x1 is here, then the value of PPU will be -1. Okay, so these values are the values of PPU. Okay, that is the values in the first row of the table. So S1, S2 and S3 all are zeros. Now after adding all these values from the standard LPP, next step is we have to find the value of Zj. As you know that the Zj can be found by multiplying these value with these different column values. Okay, so if I will multiply this with this, this with this, this with this, and then add the multiplication of all these three values, then the Zj will come out to be 0. For example, you will see that 0 into 3 plus 0 into -2 plus 0 into -4. Okay, all these value will come out to be 0, 0 and 0, so the value of Zj here 0. So in the similar manner we can find the values of all these columns, but as all these are zeros, so if you will try to find the values of all these values, then the all values will come out to be as 0, 0 and 0. Okay, now we have to find the value of Cj minus Zj. Here are the values of Cj and here are the values of Zj. So -1 minus 0, it is -1. 3 minus 0, it is 3. It is -2 minus 0 as -2. 0 minus 0, 0, 0 and 0. So now we have to check for the optimality condition. Okay, now in case of maximization problem, the solution will be optimal if all Cj minus Zj are less than equal to 0. But in this case you will see that this value is not less than or equal to 0, so this is not an optimal solution. Okay, so we have to now find the different parameters. Okay, that is, first of all we have to find the key column, then we have to find the ratio, then we have to find the key row, then we have to find the outgoing variable and incoming variable, and then we have to find the key element. So let us find these all values one by one. So first of all we will find the value of a key column, and that can be found by finding the maximum value under Cj minus Zj row. Okay, here you will see that this 3 is the highest positive value against Cj minus Zj. So let us select this 3. Okay, this is the maximum highest positive value. Okay, now the column against this element is the key column, so let us mark this as a key column. Okay, in the second step we have to find the ratio. Okay, so the formula for finding the ratio is divide the element of solution variable with the element in the key column. Okay, so let us divide this 7 by -1. This is -7. Okay, now let us divide this 12 with 4. 12 with 4, the value comes out to be 3, and let us divide this 10 by 3. It comes out to be 3.3. Okay, now we have to select the key row, and for key row we have to choose the minimum positive value under the ratio. Okay, as this is a negative value, it will never be considered. Okay, now from these two values, this 3 is the minimum value under the ratio, so let us select this value. Now the row against this value will be considered as a key row. Okay, so let us mark this as a key row. So this is the key row. Now we have to find the key element, we have to find the outgoing variable. Here you will see that against the key row s2 is the variable, so this variable will be outgoing variable. Now check the variable for the key column. Here x2 is the variable for key column, so this will be the incoming variable. Okay, so this x2 will be the incoming variable. Now we have to find the key element. Okay, so the element which is at the intersection of key row and key column is called as the key element. Here you will see that this 4 is available at the intersection of these two key row and key columns. Okay, so this 4 is the key element. Okay, so let us select this as a key element. Okay, now we have to generate the simplex table 3. Okay, we have find these different values in the simplex table 1. Now we have to generate the simplex table 2. Okay, so in the simplex table 2 we have to first of all make this key element as unity, and this can be made unity by dividing all this key row element by this key element. Okay, then we have to make this and this element 0 in the simplex table 2, and for that we have to perform different mathematical operations. Okay, so in the first step let us make this element as unity, and also let us change these elements as per the mathematical operation. Okay, now this is the simplex table 2. Initially all these values are marked, and you know that these values will never change during the entire simplex method, so I have written all these variables and their corresponding values initially. Okay, now we have to make this key element as unity, so let us divide all these elements by 4. Okay, and if I will divide all these elements by 4, I will be having this row as 3 minus 1 by 2. Now this element has been made unity. This will be 0, this will be 0, this will be 1 by 4, and this will be 0. Okay, now we have to make these two elements 0, and accordingly we have to change these values also. Okay, so you know that for making this element 0 we have to perform a mathematical calculation. Okay, so in that calculation first of all write these values, okay, in the form of a column. We have written these values in the form of a column. Now make a minus sign in front of all of these values, and then make a bracket in front of all of these values. Okay, then we have to write the elements from the simplex table 2, okay, again in the form of a column in the starting of these brackets. Okay, so let us write these values. Okay, this is 3, this is minus 1 by 2, this is 1, this is 0, this is 0, okay, this is 1 by 4, and this is 0. Okay, now we have to multiply all these value with the element which we have to make 0. Here in this table you will see that this element minus 1 has to make 0. Okay, and this is the element from the simplex table 1. So now we will multiply all these values by this minus 1. Okay, so let us multiply these values with minus 1. This is again minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, and minus 1. Now if you will solve these equations, you will be having value as 10, 5 by 2, 0, 2, 1, 1 by 4, and 0. Okay, now we have to write these values again in the form of row in the simplex table 2. Okay, so let us write these values in the simplex table 2. Okay, so the first is 10, then next value is 5 by 2, then next value is 0, then next value is 2, then 1, then 1 by 4 and 0. Okay, so this is 1 by 4 and 0. Okay, now also we have to made this element from the simplex table 1 also as 0. So again we will perform a same operation as that performed for this row. Okay, so let us write these values again in the form of a column. So these are the values from this row written in the form of a column. Okay, now again make a minus sign in front of these values and start with a bracket. Now again we have to write the values from the simplex table 2 of a key row. Here you will see that these are again the values from the key row. Okay, so let us make these values here in the form of a column again. So the values are 3 minus 1 by 2, 1, 0, 0, 1 by 4 and 0. Again we have to multiply these value with the element which has to be made 0. So here in this simplex table 1, this 3 has to be converted to 0. So let us multiply all these value with that element, that is with 3. Okay, so let us multiply these values with 3 and then we have to close this bracket. So when you will solve these equations you will be having these values for this row. Okay, so let us write these values. This is 1, this is minus 5 by 2, this is 0, this is 8, this is again 0, this is minus 3 by 4 and this is 1. Okay, now we have to find the values of Zj. Okay, but before that we have to enter these values also. Okay, now from the simplex table 1 you will see that this S1 and S3 will not change. Okay, so let us write this S1 and S3 as it is and their values 0 and 0. Now you will see here that this S2 is the outgoing variable and this X2 is the incoming variable. So now we have to write the value of this X2 here and the value PPU value for this X2 will now be as a 3. So let us write now here as 3. Okay, now we have to find the values of Zj and Cj minus Zj. Okay, now you know that to find the value of Zj we have to multiply these values with these values of the corresponding columns for corresponding values of Zj. Okay, so if you will multiply this 0 with 5 by 2 you will be having values as 0 into 5 by 2, then 3 multiplied with minus 1 by 2 and then 0 when multiplied with minus 5 by 2. The result will come out to be as this value will become 0, this will become minus 3 by 2 and this will become 0, this will be minus 3 by 2. Okay, so let us write here as a value of minus 3 by 2. Similarly we can find the value for all these columns. Okay, so the value for this column will be 3, then for this column is 0, for this column is 0, again this column is 3 by 4 and for this column is 0. Okay, now we have to find the Cj minus Zj. These are the values of Cj and these are the values of Zj. So if you will subtract this minus 3 by 2 from this minus 1, the value will be 1 by 2. Then similarly this value is 0, this value is minus 2, this value is again 0, this value is minus 3 by 4 and this is 0. Okay, now we have to check for the optimal condition. Okay, here again you will see that all the values of Cj minus Zj are not less than or equals to 0 because this is positive 1 by 2. So again this is not an optimal solution. Okay, as for optimal solution all these values must be less than or equal to 0. Okay, so again we have to find the key column, ratio, key row, incoming and outgoing variables and the key element. Okay, so that we can form the simplex table 3. Okay, so let us again find the different values. Okay, so here in this case you will see that this is the positive value, highest positive value in front of Cj minus Zj. So this will be the element we have to select. Okay, so this is the key column now. Okay, Now we have to find the ratio. Okay, so if you will divide this 10 by 5 by 2, you will be having a value of 4. Okay, now these two are the negative values. Here negative values will not be considered anytime. Okay, so let us not find these values, as if you will divide this 3 by minus 1 by 2, the value will be negative. Again, if you will divide this 1 by minus 5 by 2, the value will be negative, and we don't have to consider negative values here. So here now we are having only one positive value, that is 4. So this will be selected, and the corresponding row will be the key row. So let us mark this row as a key row in the simplex table 2. Okay, now you have to see in front of the key row, the variable for this key row is s1. So now this will be the outgoing variable. Okay, and then we have to look the variable for the key column. Here you will see that x1 is the variable for the key column. So now this will be the incoming variable. Okay, now we have to find the key element, and obviously you will see that this 5 by 2 is available at the intersection of key column and the key row. So this will be the key element. So 5 by 2 is the key element. Now as simplex table 2 doesn't provide the optimal solution, we have to generate the simplex table 3. Okay, now for that purpose we have to convert this key element as unity, and then we have to convert these two elements to 0, and for that purpose we have to perform three different mathematical operation. Okay, so let us start by making this key element as a unity and generating the simplex table 3. Okay, so for generating or for making this key element as unity, we have to divide this entire row by this key element. Okay, now again you will see that this is the simplex table 3, and the format, this format will remain the same for all of the simplex tables. Okay, so now let us convert the key element of simplex table 2 to unity. Okay, so after dividing this entire row by 5 by 2, we will be having the values as 4, 1, 0, 4 by 5, 2 by 5, 1 by 10 and 0. Okay, now we have to convert these two values also to 0. So let us start with this element. Okay, so for making this element 0, let us write this form or this row into form of a column. Okay, now we have written these elements of the row in the form of a column. Okay, then we have marked a minus sign and a bracket here. Okay, now we have to write the elements of the new row made in the simplex table 3. Okay, here you will see that these are the elements of the newly entered row in simplex table 3. So now let us write these elements in the form of a column here. Okay, so the elements are 4, 1, 0, 4, 1, 0, then 4 by 5, then 2 by 5, then 1 by 10, and this is 0. Okay, now as we have to make this element 0, we will multiply now these all values by this element. Okay, so this is minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, again minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, and again minus 1 by 2. Okay, now if you will solve all these equations, you will be values as 5, 0, 1, 2 by 5, 1 by 5, 3 by 10 and 0. Okay, so let us now mark these values in the simplex table 3 again in the form of a row. Okay, so this is 5, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2 by 5, this is 1 by 5, then 3 by 10, and this is 0. Okay, now again one more thing, we have to make this minus 5 by 2 as 0. Okay, so again we have to make a mathematical calculation. So let us write all these elements of this row in the form of a column. So these elements have been marked in the form of a column here, then a minus sign has been made here, then a bracket has been made. Again you have to use the values of the simplex table 3 where we have made the element, key element as a unity. Okay, now again writing these values in the form of column here. Okay, so these are 4, 1, 0, 4 by 5, 2 by 5, 1 by 10 and 0. Okay, now we have to multiply all these value with the element which we have to make 0. Okay, so in this table you will see that now this minus 5 by 2 has to be made a 0. So we will multiply all those values with this minus 5 by 2. Okay, so let us multiply this value with minus 5 by 2, again minus 5 by 2, minus 5 by 2, minus 5 by 2, minus 5 by 2, minus 5 by 2 and minus 5 by 2. And if you will solve all these equation, the final values will be 11, 0, 0, 10, 1, minus 1 by 2 and 1. Okay, now we will plot all these values again in the form of a row in the simplex table 3. Okay, so let us write these values in the row. Okay, so the values are 11, 0, 0, 10, 1, minus 1 by 2 and 1. Okay, now as in the simplex table 2 we have to mark the values of BV and PPU also. Okay, here you will see that this S1 is the outgoing variable and this X1 is the incoming variable. So let us mark here as X1 and the value in front of above the X1 is minus 1. So this value has to be used under PPU. Okay, now there is no change in X2, so it will remain as it is and this value will become 3. S3 there is no change in S3 and no change under PPU for S3. Okay, write minus 1 here. Similarly we can find the values for all these columns. Okay, so if you will solve, you will be having values for these columns as 3, 2 by 5, 1 by 5, 4 by 5 and 0. Okay, now we have to find the value of Cj minus Zj. Okay, so we have to subtract all these values from all these values. Okay, so if you will subtract the values of Zj from Cj, the values will be 0, again this is 0, this is minus 12 by 5, this is minus 1 by 5, this is minus 4 by 5 and this is 0. Okay, now after finding the value of Cj minus Zj, we have to check for optimality. Okay, now here you will see that the condition for a maximization problem to be optimal, all the values of Cj minus Zj should be less than or equal to 0. Okay, here in this case you will see that all values are either 0 or less than 0. So now we have arrived to an optimal solution for this given LPP. Okay, now we will find the values of different variables for optimal solution and the value for the LPP, that is the minimum value for the LPP or optimal value for LPP. Okay, now here in this table you will see that these are the variables and these are the values for these variables for optimal solution. Here you will see that the value of x1 is 4, the value of x2 is 5 and there is no x3 here. Okay, and s3 is only a slack variable, so it is not a permanent variable, so its value will not be considered. Okay, so the values comes out to be x1 is equal to 4, x2 is equal to 5 and x3 is equal to 0. These are the values of variables for optimal solution. Okay, now if you will put these values in the objective function, that is in this equation, minus 4 plus 3 into 5 plus minus 2 into 0, then we can be able to find the value of a minimization of Z, and this will come out to be minus 4 plus 15, okay, is equal to, and this will be having a minus sign as this is the objective function for maximization Z, so the values comes out to be minus 11. Okay, so this is the optimal value for LPP using the simplex method. Okay, you know that we have solved this value for maximization objective. Okay, then for converting this maximization type of objective function to minimization, we have to again mark this as a negative. Okay, so the final value is minus 11. So in this way you can solve other problems of a minimization type LPP using simplex method.